Oh, you did? All right, the time is 7 p.m. We'll call this meeting to order. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pulaski,
Here.
Trustee Berkshire,
Here.
Trustee Delapenna,
Here.
Trustee Domke,
Here.
Trustee Lanisa, Trustee Burkowski,
Here.
Trustee Trejo.
Here. And we have a quorum. We'll move on to presentation of the prepared agenda. Could I have a motion to approve?
Moved.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Yes.
Opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries. We'll now move on to Village Board public comment. Anyone wishing to provide a comment on a topic or agenda item may address the Village Board during the public comment and public hearing segments of the Village Board agenda by submitting comments in advance or during the meeting. Madam Clerk, do we have any submitted in advance? Do we have any members of the public here today that wish to address the board? Let the record show none. We'll move on to officials and staff reports. Before we go to some of the items under my report, I wanted just to give Chief Bozick an opportunity to introduce our newly sworn in as of 6:30 today, Deputy Fire Chief.
Thanks. Exciting evening for us. This is Tim Smeltzer, our new deputy chief. The mayor swore him in 6:30 this evening. Tim brings to us a wealth of experience, 30 years in the fire service. Retired in 2020 from the Northbrook Fire Department, serving all the way up through the deputy fire chief position and acting fire chief. After he retired there, he spent some time over at Wheeling Fire Department as their training officer, and then we were lucky enough to snag him from Wheeling to bring him into our organization. He understands our organization, is a resident of Roselle Fire Protection District, so he's nice and close with his family, and look forward to have a great working relationship with him. Like I said, it'd be a great asset to the organization. Once again, thank you for everybody's support and making this happen. So, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Tim, do you want to say anything or?
No, I just want to say thank you, and looking forward to working with the Roselle family. I'm very excited and looking forward to some big things in the future.
Absolutely. Well, welcome to the Roselle Fire Department. And I know we'll be doing a much more grand formal swearing in with a bunch of new fire employees soon. So we'll have pomp and circumstance to come. So, but thank you for joining our organization and getting right to work. So also, before we jump into things, just want to congratulate and thank the clerk as well as everyone involved with the Winterfest activities this weekend. I think we had a really great time, and everyone's holly jolly attitude added some warmth to an otherwise frigid cold day. So, and tree lighting went well. So hopefully everyone enjoys the holiday lights around town. So with that being the case, though, we've got some formality to my items today. So I've asked the board to entertain a motion to open a public hearing for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023 proposed budget.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, could I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Trejo,
Aye.
Trustee Delapenna,
Aye.
Trustee Berkshire,
Yes.
Trustee Domke,
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa, Trustee Burkowski.
Aye. And public notice was published in the Daily Herald on November 23rd, 2022, and was also on file with the village clerk. So with that, I'd like to ask our finance director to walk us through his presentation.
Good evening. The first slide there had the public notice, but just to prove it. So the general fund, well, our 2023 budget, general fund total revenues are estimated at just over $21 million. This is a decrease of about 330,000 from where we expect to end 2022. Reasons for that include an increase in property tax, sales tax, local use tax, heating tax, and then estimated decreases for income tax, building fees, and our hotel motel tax, which will be moving to the new tourism fund, which I'll have at the end of the presentation. Total expenditures for the general fund estimated at just over $21 million, an increase of about 750,000 from where we expect to end this year, FY22. Some of the reasons for that include salaries, health insurance, contractual services, commodities, just day to day. Every year things go up a little bit. Revenues are expected to exceed expenditures by just over $22,000, where our anticipated reserve level will be about 55% or just over 6.5 months by the time we get to December 20th, 23. The water sewer operating fund total revenues are estimated at about $7.5 million. 98% of that revenue comes from our water and sewer rates. The rates this year are increasing 30 cents per thousand for the water and just 5 cents per thousand gallons for sewer. And on the chart there, you can see the rate history from 2019 to 2023. You can see the 2019, 20, and 21 rates stayed the same for those 3 years. And we're starting to increase those once again to keep up, one, with inflation, two, the DuPage Water Commission raised their rates last year, 21 cents, and we did not increase them after they increased their rate. And now we're trying to put some money away for future projects. Total expenses for the water sewer operating are just over $8 million. Again, we purchase water from the DuPage Water Commission, and then our personnel costs are the two largest expenses, and it's about 68% of the water and sewer operating fund. The budget also includes about $330,000 in capital improvements, mainly sewer lining, sewer and manhole lining to improve the flow in the sewer. Make sure that there's no infill and infiltration, as we've talked about over the years, trying to keep that down on an annual basis. Expenses exceed revenues by about $535,000. This is planned. The reserve policy of the village board is 25%, and we expect to end 2023 just above that. Water sewer capital fund, again, the rates are increasing here. This is the CIS, or the capital improvement surcharge, but we collect about $3 million, a little over $3 million, and we're increasing the rate by 10 cents per thousand gallons. Water sewer tap-on fees are a small portion, and then some investment income. Again, the increase, as we've noted over several months, we have several large projects at both Devlin and Boderman plants, and about $100 million over the next 5 to 10 years. Some of it driven by our needs for expansion, but then also regulatory improvements. So here, go to the parking lot operating. As you know, the pandemic has hit the parking lot operating fund very, very hard. Commuting is starting to pick up a little bit, but expenditures over revenues of just over 19,000, even though we moved about $100,000 in personnel costs to the general fund. So we are asking for a monthly permit increase of $6 for the monthly permit and $10 for the quarterly permit to align those costs with the daily fees that are charged. As I said, ridership continues to be down and will be for the foreseeable future. We get the planning from Metra, and they show very slow increase over the years. Daily parking fees are equal to the pre-pandemic levels, but of course, most of our revenues did come from permits, so we're hoping those come back. Reserves have decreased from just under 300,000 from 12/31/2019, so just before the pandemic, and we expect to end 2023 at about 9,000. So you can see the continued drop. We ate a lot of our reserves, but we anticipate additional transfers from the general fund if funds are available from the general fund and if the board concurs. I'd like to highlight a couple new funds quickly. One is the tourism fund. We're using hotel motel tax revenues. And the reason for this fund is for tourism related expenditures. So the hotel motel tax is expected to be used only for tourism or to get people to visit Roselle. So where you can now see the revenues coming in and then the related expenditures for the tourism related activities that we have. And the other one is the TIF 4 debt service fund that was created, will be created in this budget. That's to pay principal and interest on the TIF bonds that were issued this year, and then the TIF bonds that will be issued next year. And with that, I will answer any questions that anybody may have.
Any questions or comments from the board? Wayne?
Just a couple of quick clarification questions. Like when you use water, what is the ratio of the cost, the water to the sewer? Is it 2 to 1, 3 to 1? Do you, just for
It's
our edification?
sure. In Cook, it's about, it's a little bit 60-40 on the water versus sewer. DuPage, it's a little bit closer. The water is $875 per thousand and sewer is $630 per thousand. So
Okay, thank you. We
a little
need
bit more.
that. Now, just when you want to increase the rate for a monthly rate at the parking, do you have to go through Metra to do that?
That, no.
That's
I mean,
just
I
village,
will let them know, but no, those are our permits.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the daily fees that they were generally talking.
And then the last thing, just a couple of examples of how we would use tourism money in the future.
So one of the items, first of all, is Matt Galloway's salaries and the communications coordinator. So their activities in trying to advertise the Winterfest, for example.
Okay.
So that would have been a good example. So Winterfest, the activities there, trying to promote that, that would be used for that. Any of the activities that we have going on. And then our memberships in the DuPage Visitors Bureau, the Meet Northwest. So all of our memberships for that. And it's advertising could be used for that. Any of those things to just draw people into.
So it's targeted expenses to
Yes.
promote Roselle. It's pretty
Correct.
good, pretty good. I like that. Cool.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments or questions from the board? Is there any member of the public that wish to ask a question? Seeing none, is there any member of the public that wishes to speak against this? Seeing none, is there any member of the public that wishes to speak in favor of it? The record show none on all three accounts. Is there a recommendation from the village board?
To approve?
Thank you. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Could I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Trejo,
Aye.
trustee Domke,
Aye.
trustee Berkshire,
Yes.
trustee Delapenna.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa. Aye. Trustee Prokowski.
Aye. All right, and that motion carries. I'd next like to entertain a motion to open a public hearing for the fiscal year ending 2022 proposed tax levy.
Moved. Second.
Could I have a roll call?
Trustee Trejo,
Aye.
trustee Delapenna,
Aye.
trustee Berkshire,
Yes.
trustee Domke,
Aye.
trustee Lanisa. Aye. Trustee Prokowski.
Aye. That motion carries. Once again, public notice was made in the Daily Herald on November 23rd, 2022, and was on file with the village clerk.
There's a notice. So this is a quicker presentation. Just wanted to let the public know again, you know, the village of Roselle portion of an average property tax bill is really about 10%. And we have the dollar bill here just to kind of demonstrate that, where on the right-hand side is the elementary school district is about 42%, high school is about 28 to 29%. And the village is about 10%. So when you think about your property tax bill that you receive, just think about 10% of it, and you can see it, it's on the bill, but goes to the village of Roselle. And then what do we use that money for? So the majority, the vast majority of the property tax revenue that we get is deposited in the general fund. About 50% of that, just about 49.25%, it goes to pensions. 17% goes to fire and 17% goes to police. We have those split evenly. 10%, a little over 10% is for EMS, which is our ambulance. And then the about 5% of that goes to just general corporate, general fund activities.
And I hate to put you in the spot, but property taxes represent what percent of our revenue annually?
Oh, geez.
Sorry.
I have that in my budget, which I don't have in front of me. So it's about what, $6 million, 6 million of 20. So it's like 30 some percent.
Yep, so
31 I
about
think
a-
it's 31%.
So, but we'll call it a third of the budget is covered by property taxes. So it certainly doesn't finance all of our operations. So. Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
All those graphs are shocking when you look at them.
Absolutely.
Amazing. You use a $1 bill for that, and then the $100 bill for the other one, which you'll have to tell me later what the significance is of that.
Artistic license.
Any other comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, is there any member of the public that wish to ask a question? Seeing none, is there any member of the public that wish to speak against? Seeing none, is there any member of the public that wish to speak in favor? Seeing none, is there a recommendation from the board?
Yep.
All right, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Could I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Trejo,
Aye.
trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Berkshire,
Yes.
trustee Della Penna.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Prokowski.
Aye.
That motion carries. I'd like to entertain a motion to pass an ordinance adopting the fiscal year 2023 budget.
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion? Seeing none, could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Trejo,
Aye.
trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Berkshire.
Yes.
Trustee Della Penna.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Prokowski.
Aye.
That motion carries. An ordinance authorizing the levy and collection of taxes for the general corporate purposes for fire protection, police protection, Illinois municipal retirement, paramedic services, debt services, police pension, and firefighters pension for the fiscal year commencing on January 1st, 2023 and ending on December 31st, 2023 for the Village of Roselle, DuPage, and Cook Counties, Illinois.
Moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, can we have a roll call?
Trejo,
Aye.
trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Berkshire.
Yes.
Trustee Della Penna.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Prokowski.
Aye.
That motion carries. That is it for my report tonight. So any village trustees have a report tonight? All right, seeing none, village clerk.
Just wanted to thank everyone that came out to Winterfest and everyone that helped to volunteer. Thank you to the Roselle Police Department. Thank you to the Roselle Fire Department, Public Works, Matt Galloway, who was an MVP. And I thanked everyone on my Facebook page, all the vendors, all the organizations that helped put this together. But I really, really, really wanted to thank Deputy Clerk Liz Sheffer.
Thank you so much. Village attorney, any report?
No report.
Village administrator.
No report.
All right, we'll move on to unfinished business. First, we have the consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine, procedural, informational, self-explanatory, or non-controversial in nature and will be enacted in one motion. There'll be no discussion of these items. Tonight, we have presentation approval of the village board minutes of November 28th, 2022. Adopt a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a cost sharing agreement by and between the Village of Roselle and Woodland Windows and Doors Incorporated. Pass an ordinance amending chapter 22, article 1, section 22-22 and section 22-143 of the Code of Ordinance of the Village of Roselle, Illinois. Adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign the grant award between the Village of Roselle and Bloomingdale Township Mental Health Board in the amount of $101,000 to provide counselors at the police department to serve the mental health needs of residents of Roselle. And that is all. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Trustee Trejo,
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Berkshire.
Yes.
Trustee Della Penna.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Prokowski.
Aye.
That motion carries. We'll now move on to community development. Trustee Domke.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to reopen the public hearing for the annexation of 22 West 303 Foster Avenue in Medina.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Berkshire.
Yes.
Trustee Della Penna.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Prokowski.
Aye.
And that motion carries. And for the record, this was on file with the clerk's office and we published public notice in the Daily Herald on, if I can find it. Unless someone on staff has it quicker than I do. As I'm scrolling here, I apologize. At some point, we can enter that in the record in a little bit. I assume that's okay. Wayne, continue on. Unless there's a presentation from community development.
It was
Wow, that was good.
Powerful Mike.
published in the October 28th, 2022 edition of the Daily Herald.
Thank you so much. With that, does staff have a report on the petition?
The petitioner is here tonight if the board has any questions or concerns that they want to discuss. But they will be installing a sidewalk as part of the annexation. And then their new address will also, it will change because it's a county unincorporated address. And it will change to 913 Foster Avenue.
Thank you so much. Does the board have any questions or comments? Seeing none, does anyone in the public wish to speak in favor of the petition? Let the record show none. Is there anyone in the public that would wish to speak against this petition? Seeing none, does anyone have a question? Seeing none. Is there a recommendation for the village board?
We make a motion to close, is that move forward?
Move forward with it. Forward.
Okay.
Perfect. And then, Mr. Namke, would you like to make a motion to
I
close?
would like to make a motion, Mr. Mayor, to close the public hearing for the annexation of 22 West 303 Foster Avenue in Medina.
Second. Thank you. Could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Berkshire.
Yes.
Trustee Della Penna.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Prokowski.
Aye. That motion carries. Mr. Namke.
And I would also like to make a motion to adopt a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an annexation agreement for 22 West 303 Foster Avenue in Medina.
There's a second? Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Domke.
All right.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Berkshire.
Yes.
Trustee Della Penna.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa. Aye. Trustee Prokowski.
Aye. That motion carries.
And finally, I'd like to make a motion to pass an ordinance approving the annexation of certain territory commonly referred to as 22 West 303 Foster Avenue, Medina.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Berkshire.
Yes.
Trustee Della Penna.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Prokowski.
Aye. That motion carries and welcome to the Village of Roselle.
Yep.
Anything else tonight under community development? Trustee Domke, anything else?
Oh, no, I got all caught up in
All right.
welcoming.
I know it's a big moment for us all, so. Thank you. We have nothing under administration, fire, police, public works, or finance tonight. Moving to new business, is there any other business the board has to discuss tonight? If not, is there any member of the public that wish to make a comment tonight? We have a second opportunity for that. Seeing none, if not, could I have a motion to adjourn? Do
moved.
I have a second? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Yes. Aye.
Opposed, nay. Any abstentions? We are adjourned at 7:22. Thank you so much. And friendly reminder to staff and the board, we'll have refreshments